process. I'm definitely somebody that can just put my head down and go. So just raise your hand or I'll watch the chat too. So let me get my screen shared. Okay. Oops. So today we're going to talk about just really unlocking success in real estate and how to consistently achieve your goals, no matter what is really happening in your life. I think the one blessing that I've had as I've looked back over my life is I've had a lot of trials and tribulations that have made me very strong today. So for that, I'm grateful. I think any of us that have went through seasons of struggle, I think when you're in those struggles, sometimes it feels like the weight of the world's coming down on you and you can oftentimes want to quit and give up. But I hope by the end of this, you find purpose and passion to just keep going if you're in a season of struggle, or if you have a struggle coming. I hope these are just things that you remember and implement when you are in those seasons of struggle, just to keep going. So just to give you a quick little background and overview of my life, I was born in 1982. My mom was a senior in high school. She obviously got pregnant with me. Homecoming night with her brother's best friend. So I had a childhood that was just raised by young parents. Most of my grandparents and my aunts and uncles really just helped raise me those first few years of my life. I have two younger sisters. One of my sisters may be jumping on today, actually. So I'll have to keep a lookout for that. But we're all about 4 years apart. So one of us went to high school, the other one graduated high school. So we didn't really get super close till we were like in our adult life. At 6 years old, I went to get my tonsils taken out, and this was probably like the first traumatic tragedy of my life. I'm allergic to anesthesia. So my jaw locked within like 3 minutes of them giving the anesthesia. My temperature went to 106. I went into convulsions. And if the anesthesiologist didn't catch it, and even a minute sooner, I would not be here today. But I remember that event so vividly. It was like an out-of-body experience of me even like looking back at myself. And it's just something that's always stuck with me and probably given me like a good perspective of like life is so precious. So I grew up in Ohio, young parents on a farm. We raised animals. I was in 4-H. I had a lot of responsibility young. My parents worked a lot. My dad was super, super tough on me. He grew up in a very verbal and physical abuse childhood, and his way of showing love definitely replicated that. So even till I moved here in 2008, like I was still fearful of my father. A lot of what he did though for me, like has tremendously helped me be tough. It's helped me be a hard worker. It's shown me like work before play. So although it was like tragic and traumatic growing up, like it has done a lot of good for me now. In 2005, I went to the Ohio State University, graduated. My parents told me, if you want to go to college, like you're going to pay your way through college. So literally all the way through college, I worked a full-time job and went to school full-time and graduated with very little debt. I worked 2 or 3 jobs in the summertime just to like bundle up a little nest egg to be able to pay my college tuition that next year. At the end of 2006, 2007, I started real estate in Ohio with a builder developer. The market crashed there. I was in a very unhealthy relationship. And I just felt like the Holy Spirit just like led me to be like, you need to do something different. And I just kept hearing North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina. Well, my builder at the time was actually developing a community down here. And he said, I would love for you to move down there, get your real estate license, help us start and launch that community. So I did just that. And just by God's timing, my parents had just gotten separated. I was 24 years old. My dad was an engineer at Honda, and he was coming down to Swepsonville to work for Honda as an engineer. So I just literally came down here, dropped him off at the airport, and I left him in a puddle of tears. He was like afraid to death. It was like dropping my child off at college. And I was like, I can't leave him here. So I did take that opportunity, moved to North Carolina, met my now husband. He was an entrepreneur. I was working for this builder, sold literally no houses. And then he looked at me and he said, why are you driving all the way to Raleigh every single day? Gas was like $4 a gallon. I don't know if you guys remember 2008, 2009. Gas was $4 a gallon. I was lucky if I saw one person in my model home a week. And he looked at me and he said, like, you have so much like valuable information and talent in you. Like, why don't you go out on yourself? Like, go into general brokerage. And that was scary for me because all I saw growing up was my parents who worked in corporate positions. They did little things on the side. They bought houses, they bought land, they flipped it, they redeveloped it. So I did see a little bit of real estate as like a side hustle. But I saw my parents like getting up and going to work every day and having a consistent paycheck and having a retirement and having pension. I couldn't even fathom like I have to generate my own income and I have to create my own business. And oh, by the way, I don't know a single person in Alamance County. I was brand new. I'd only known my husband like well, he wasn't my husband then, but like 3 or 4 months. Um, so lo and behold, I listened to him. He believed in me, and I sold 0 houses my first year in real estate at Allen Tate. Quickly realized it takes a lot more than just showing up to the office. I had to figure out what activities. I started doing open houses, 2 or 3 of them on the weekend. I took every single phone duty. I got on Facebook and did sponsored ads. Like I did whatever I could to get my name out here because nobody knew who I was. Um, so I did grow my business. In 2014, I sold 65 homes by myself as a solo agent. This was before teams existed here locally. This is before transaction coordinators. So I did everything from my listing input to we were literally still hand signing contracts and had file folders back then. So like it was a lot more involved and time consuming to do business then. And realized like I was burning out and decided like I do want to grow a team. So I went to Keller Williams, learned how to grow a team, grew my team to do about 200 units a year. Just got married in 2015. And then we decided we wanted to have children and we couldn't. Like it wasn't happening. And we had been actively practicing for like 10 years and kids were not happening. So we had to go through the IVF process to have Manny. So in 2018, we had Manny. And by the grace of God, 5 months later, I was pregnant with Sophia just naturally. And we were in shock. So we had Sophia in July of 2019, 3 months after I had her. So I had a 15-month-old, a brand new baby, and my husband needs to get a knee replacement at 35 years old. And then COVID happens. So in the midst of all that, I had to let go of my assistant. I became my new assistant, had 2 babies, 3 if you counting my husband and his knee replacement. He was literally on a walker and I was taking care of him for months. And then COVID happens. And my husband has a business. He owns Super Fitness new and used gym equipment. And we also own a local gym. His business went crazy during COVID. So we had just like the weight of the world on us. Our parents weren't working. My dad got really, really sick and he eventually passed away. He passed away June of last year. So we just had a lot. We had just like a lot of people depending upon us. People were calling my husband every day. As you know, during COVID, like the gym business, the gyms themselves closed down, but we had hundreds of people driving from all over the US to come buy home gym equipment, which was amazing. Like we were very blessed, but we weren't like paying attention to what was happening. But we shifted his business at the time just from gym owners to home users. And we're not set up to handle hundreds of people a day. So I was doing real estate. I was taking my 2 little kids when I could to help him sell gym equipment on the weekends. And we just had like our head down and grinding. Well, all of a sudden my dad gets sick. And it was a very hard time. We were taking him to the Mayo Clinic. We took him to the Cleveland Clinic. We were just trying to find him answers. And he did eventually pass away last June. But in the meantime, in the midst of all this, I felt like I needed a change. Like I need a community. I need people to plug into. I had been following Tina for years and like I just needed something that poured into me and I needed a refresh. So we joined EX in November of 2022. Looking back, we totally wish we would have joined sooner, but we are just so grateful to be here and the amount of just like collaboration and sisterhood. And it's just been amazing. It's helped us transform our business. It's helped us grow as people and truly just given us a lot more purpose and structure. So today I'm going to talk to you about purpose, mindset, clarity, and consistency. And more so doing the hard thing first and doing the hard till it's easy. And that's something that took me, it didn't take me a long time to learn. I think my father taught it to me at a young age. When we were growing up, my dad said to me time and time again, if you want to get further in life, you have to work before you play. And that's something that's just like always been ingrained in my head. Every Saturday morning when our friends were like out riding their bikes, I can just still hear my dad like dun, 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 coming up the stairs to tell us like, get your dirty clothes on. We got to go work this morning. And that would mean like we were going to the barn, we were pitching manure, we were washing our animals, we had a project of some sort. But it taught me like how to be disciplined and structured and how to like get up, do the hard things, and then the fun stuff can happen. And that's just something that's like carried me through life. Now I recreate my heart in the morning. So like I get up early, 4:45, 5 o'clock every single morning, spend 30 minutes in worship, do 30 minutes of cardio, and then I cold plunge. Well, if you've never gotten in like 45-degree water first thing in the morning, like that is hard. It's physically hard, it's mentally hard, but if you condition yourself to do hard first, no matter what comes your way the rest of the day, everything becomes easy. So when you walk into the office and you got to pick up the phone, let me tell you, I would pick up the phone 100 times sometimes before I'd get in 45-degree water. Like it just conditions your mind to realize like what you're needing to do is not really that hard. And anytime you can put your mind through that sequence, then you can really condition yourself to do the hard things first. I'm going to play a very, very deep video for you really quick. So as soon as I hit the arrow button, just get ready to like tune in, open your mind, listen. It's going to take you deep, and then we're going to dive into it a little more.
Imagine you're sitting on your deathbed 50 years from now. Your breath is quick and shallow, and you know that you're going to be gone in a matter of moments. And every opportunity that has ever been at your fingertips is now gone. And there's only one thing left for you, and that's to die. You'll never see another sunrise. You'll never feel its warmth on your skin. You'll never dance with your wife to her favorite song or even hold her hand. Your kids have grown and their kids have grown, and every day of your life has passed. And you're sitting here in this bed at the end of it all, on this, the last day of your life. And then all of a sudden, your room fills with this glorious light, and this angel appears, and he offers you a chance, one chance to travel back in time, back to today, to live it all the way through. You open your eyes, and you're back in your young body. It's today. Now, hold that perspective. How would that change your attitude about the stuff that you're worrying about right now? Would you let anxiety about the future spin you out? How would you feel about your kids interrupting you or your wife asking you to help her with something? How would it open your eyes to the beauty all around you? How would you go through today if you had one chance to live it as if it was the full final day of your life?
So I would love for a few of you just to like come off mute for a second and just share. Like, how did that video make you feel? What's something that like resonated inside of you? What is something you need to go and do? Like what if you lived in that moment today, like what is the first thing that you would go and do?
Play with those children that drive me so crazy.
Yeah. Yes. Anybody else? Everybody's quiet this morning.
Are quiet this morning.
So I'll share a little bit. So let me make sure this doesn't just start playing again. So going through.
Imagine you're sitting on your deathbed.
Sorry. Going through last year and like seeing my dad on his deathbed gave me that perspective. And even though it was like one of the hardest times in my life, it made me realize like life can be so short. It can be so precious. You know, my father was only 61 years old when he passed away. I don't know about you, but that's like less than 20 years from where I am now. Like that's such a short window of time. And I had went to a conference, and I can't even think of the state we were at. Anyways, I went to a conference last year with my husband, and I heard Ed Milet and one other speaker talk, and they spoke on this, and it was right after my father passed away, and it was just so hard for me to hear. But at the same time, they said, you need to wake up every day and like focus on death. And when you focus on death, which is the one, like, that's one thing you can't undo. If you focus on death, your perspective of living totally changes. Your perspective of fear, your perspective of what's getting in your way, your mindset changes. And all of a sudden, you truly are going to focus on like what it is you really need to do. And it makes you focus on such a deeper purpose. Because if you can just like sit there and visualize yourself like only having moments to live and then getting a second chance, most people on their deathbed are not regretful of what they did. They're regretful of what they didn't do. So I ask you today, like, what is it you haven't done yet? And why are you waiting? And in the last year, it's made me as a person like put myself out there more. I don't care what other people think. I'm here to like live what's on my heart, what God has put into me for the purpose. I'm listening to the Holy Spirit, like stepping into a new phase of myself. I mean, even just to share a little bit more detail, our team is a little bit in a funk. And I said, last week, in order to get out of funks, like you got to do the hard stuff and you got to do more of it. So literally last Thursday or Friday, I can't even remember the day, I went and door knocked in the middle of the afternoon in 95-degree weather, all by myself in a neighborhood that we have 4 buyers that want to be in, all of which have great listings. Each transaction is probably going to be $1 million to $2 million in business. So I'm looking at, this is like $8 million of business. All I got to do is put on my tennis shoes and walk across the street and go door knock where these houses are that they want to be. Well, I prayed over my little door knockers. I went and door knocked. I let all of our buyers know and sellers know that I was door knocking that neighborhood. And this one house at the end of my door knocking that I've always loved, I kept saying like, it's not even a house I don't think my clients would like, but just let me put a door knocker on it. I just felt led to do it. Well, it wasn't 3 or 4 hours later, I get a little phone call from this cute little 90-year-old man who also happens to be a commercial real estate agent. And he said, I want you to come over to my house. I have a friend that needs to sell her house. My neighbor is going to sell her house. I'm 90 years old. Why am I living in this 3,800 square foot house? And my friend's daughter needs to sell her house. And I think, what if I just said no to going to door knock on a Friday afternoon? It was Friday, on a Friday afternoon in 95-degree weather. I just potentially picked up $2.5 million in business by doing the hard. And the reason why I did it is to show my girls, like, that's what this market takes. This market is not just coming into the office and waiting for your phone to ring. It's sitting down and realizing, who are my clients that would move forward if I found them a house? All of these clients there's 4 houses, all of which are about 500,000 and above that we have to sell. And they're all looking for 700 and above on the buying side. That's a lot of business. But also I said to myself, even if I don't find them a house today, I guarantee I'm going to find somebody that probably wants to sell over there because it's a neighborhood that has a significant amount of turnover. And I did, and potentially picked up another $2 million in business. I don't know about you, but going and knocking in 95-degree weather and picking up $2 million in business, I will do every day. But it's hard. It's hard. And who wants to work on a Friday afternoon? And who wants to go out 95-degree weather? And who wants to have conversations with strangers? Can I tell you, I've been over to their house 2 times. I should have brought them in here. I walked away the first day. We just had God stories we shared, but walked away with little Italian homemade cookies. And then yesterday I went and looked at one of their other houses and we had homemade limoncello liqueur after our listing appointment. And I just think, like, how beautiful is it that I've created a relationship with these people? We're breaking bread together and we're doing business. And by the way, he's also a commercial real estate agent and a banker that has, a wealth of people he knows. And he's now become like my biggest advocate in my business and has lived here for how long? And I just think, like, what if I wouldn't have went and door knocked? I wouldn't have met him. So I think we sometimes just get so busy in the mundane. We get so busy in the doing that we don't stop and think, like, what is it I really should be doing? What's the hard stuff I need to be doing? And why am I doing it? Or why am I not doing it? And if you were to slow down first thing every morning and just think about, like, if today were my last day, what could I go and do? And I know a lot of people wouldn't say go door knock in 95-degree weather, but I'm learning this week when my kids are at the beach that they are the reason why I go door knock in 95-degree weather, to show them, like, I can do hard things. My son, I came home and told him, I went and door knocked today, Manny. He was so mad I didn't take him because I usually take him door knocking. So, like, I'm conditioning and inputting in my children, like, go and do the hard things. I have a 6-year-old son that gets mad at me when I don't take him door knocking. There's not many of my agents that get mad at me when I don't take them door knocking. It's all mindset. It's all conditioning yourself to do what you need to do, whether you feel like doing it or not. And when you start to do it and you see the results, like, I'm going door knocking this afternoon. Like I'm seeking the results because I know in today's world, like it's not just sit behind a computer and post ads and post, cute little reels on social media. It's getting out and grinding and getting face to face with people and creating those relationships that are going to build my business. So mindset, what are you doing daily to protect it? How are you recharging your energy? And energy to me is just as important as knowledge. When I walked into that listing appointment that I had after I had door knocked, the one thing he said to me, and they own several businesses, he's getting ready to open up a wedding venue. He said to me, I need somebody that has the energy like you have to help us promote our venue. We sometimes don't realize it's not your pretty listing presentation. Your listing presentation absolutely needs to be wow. It needs to be informational. It needs to be cutting edge. You need to be providing value. But the energy that you bring people can sometimes mean much more than anything else. And what I mean by energy is like you need to learn how to connect. You need to learn how to make people feel your passion. You need to make people learn how to feel your energy and the love for doing what you do, because that's where you get their trust. And now all of a sudden, like these people, I feel like trust me sometimes more than people that have known me for a long time. It's like they felt that energy transfer. They felt my enthusiasm. And now they want to like tell the world about me. She told me today when I'm going to meet her at 12:30 today to sign a listing contract. She said, bring me some more of your listing kits. I'm going to start passing them out to everybody. I'm like, amen, I will. Because they both live in great neighborhoods. I think we oftentimes fail here first. You first have to visualize and achieving it in your mind before it actually happens. And I'm huge in manifesting. I literally sat in that neighborhood and prayed over those door knockers before I went and put them out on any doors. And I don't care who you believe in or what you believe in. That's powerful. Visualizing and praying for and asking, like, help these door knockers find somebody that I can help. That will get you further than putting out the door knockers sometimes, of like visualizing and believing and dreaming big. That makes that happen. I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction and affirmations. I don't know if you've ever watched The Secret, but it really is what you think, what you believe, you attract. And just take a look around at your life right now and then reflect on your thoughts. What have your thoughts been? And if your thoughts have been in the gutter, it's no reason why the world around you feels like you're in the gutter and you're struggling. But if you set your thoughts on high things and you set your thoughts on affirmations and you get up and you pour the word of the word of the Lord like into your life or things that are positive, you are going to bring energy like no other to people. And you're going to have things that stir up inside of you that connect and bring you energy that just help connect with people on such a deeper level. Be, do, have. If we oftentimes, I think, get so focused on the having, you do need to visualize yourself in the having, but you have to slow down and look at the people that do have what you want to have. What have they done? Who have they become? What have they sacrificed? What are the hard things they've done to get to the moment of the have? So we've done mindset. We've talked about purpose. I now want to transition into clarity. I oftentimes think we approach, whether you're in real estate or any other career, and just saying like, I want to make this much money. But what does that much money mean to you? And what does it do for your life? So on our team, what we do is we ask people for 3 numbers, and we do this during our recruiting, but we also do this during our one-on-ones. This week, we're doing our one-on-ones. So we're sitting down and asking our team, like, are your safety, security, and exciting numbers still the same? So the first one is your survival or your safety number. This is the number that you need to make either on a monthly basis or an annual basis just to live, just to pay your bills. Your security number is your survival or safety number plus a little extra. So if you are wanting to save for retirement, if you're wanting to go on a vacation, if you have some debt you want to pay off, you take your safety or survival number and add a little bit to it. And then your exciting number is like, I've made it. Like, I'm successful. This is wow. So sitting down this week, what we've done with our girls who we've already known their safety, security, exciting numbers, we've said, like, how does this feel? And what do you have coming up in the next season of your life? And we take these numbers and we transition them into how many units do you need to sell on a monthly basis in order to achieve these goals? And that can sometimes, for a lot of our girls, mean 1 or 2 houses, or others, it's 3 or 4. But what this does is it ties it back to a meaning and a purpose. And what we found before we did this is we would just have people say, like, I want to sell 5 houses. And I would come back to them because I know what it feels like to sell 5 houses a month, and ask them, like, do you just want to sell 5 houses for the money? Because at a certain point in time, like, money diminishes value. Or do you want to sell 5 houses because you need to? Do you want to sell 5 houses because you have a purpose tied behind it? And we have girls like about to have new babies, building houses. So it allows us to like pull back the layers of their purpose and really dig deep into like what is motivating you for the why behind these numbers. And what we oftentimes find is we sometimes say that we got to sell 5 houses. They really don't want to sell 5 houses. They do want to build houses. They do want to save for their retirement. They do have debt they want to pay off. They do have a new baby coming and they want to build a nest egg. So it allows us to dive into the purpose behind their why, but then hold them accountable at a much more purposeful, productive level when their goals really align with what their internal sensor of feeling and emotion is behind those goals. So know your activities. Once we have your safety, security, exciting numbers, we then back end to those numbers and say, okay, now you need to build a pipeline that's 10 times your monthly goal. So if you have a goal of 4 per month, you want to sell 4 houses. That means you need to have 10 times that in leads that are in your pipeline. So you need to have 40 people in your pipeline at all times. 10% of those should be ready to list or buy a house within the next 30 to 60 days. So if you have 4 A clients in your pipeline, and an A client is, I just need to find them a house, or I just need to get their house on the market. If you have 4 A clients in your pipeline and you have a conversion of only converting 75% of those on a monthly basis, then that means on an ongoing basis, you need to be going on 6 appointments per month or 1.5 per week to hit your goals. And what that also means is you need to be adding 10 contacts a day or whatever your contact to appointment ratio is, and consistently providing value to your pipeline to maybe make your nurtures and your B and C clients move up to an A to get people moving forward. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on that slide? So success is totally found in the consistent hard work. We live off of what's called a 12-week tracker. A 12-week tracker really breaks down a year and puts it into a quarterly basis. So every week of our quarter is actually a month. And this allows us to do, so we do 4 one-on-ones with our team. With each individual agent, we do 1 a quarter, and we sit down and review, what did your last quarter look like? What do you want your next quarter to look like? And what's life looking like next quarter? One of the questions we always ask is like, how many days are you going to be able to work this next quarter? We have some girls taking 2-week vacations during the summertime. We have girls about to have babies, girls that have kids home from school. So third quarter can get a little bit messy. And that means we got to work a lot harder when the kids are taken care of. But what we have found that tracking things on a 12-week basis helps us actually achieve our goals at a much higher level. Because when we were tracking on an annual basis, we were way in the deep end and we couldn't dig ourselves out of the holes. But when we're looking at our goals on a weekly basis and a monthly and our quarters a year, we now are focused on them at a much deeper level. We live off of what's called the daily sprint. And the daily sprint's over here on the right. What essentially it means is you need to start every single day off with kindness and just sprinkling love and positive energy into others in some way, shape, or form. The non-negotiables are this. You need to have 10 new conversations a day, 8 follow-up calls a day, at least 5 videos. And what we mean by video is like videos that you post on social media, videos that you send your clients, 5 follow-up texts. You need to commit to at least 10 minutes of growth, whether that be a podcast, whether that be script and role playing. You need to do something to grow and pour into yourself every single day. You need to ask for either 1 review or 1 referral request a day. And then you need to journal, like, what are the objections I've heard? What worked? What didn't work? And then give yourself an hour of personal care, whether that just be like meditation, yoga, going on a walk, working out, like whatever fills your bucket up and pours into you, you need to do. And then you get some bonus points if you review and prep for your next day. If you do this consistently, even 4 to 5 days a week, you are going to see significant growth in your business and your life at a very high level. So what's working in today's market? Things that have been working for us to get listings currently in today's market is we've been leaning heavily into Fellow. It's capturing leads from our database. I literally just wrote down this morning, I'm definitely like a person that I have my to-do list for today. I got my 10 points. It allows people to raise their hands without like reaching out to us. And what we're seeing is when we can create those conversations and pour value into them and let them know, like, this is what your house is actually worth. It's actually worth more than your tax value. It's worth more than your Z estimate. And oh, by the way, we maybe even have a buyer in our pipeline for it. Like we are creating lots of off-market deals, but we're also like getting a lot of listings we probably wouldn't have gotten. It's a subdue way for people to raise their hand to us, and then it opens the door. What we're doing is I first look, reach out to them, and I have a text chain that I'd be more than happy to share with you. I just went through like a Fellow 30 listings in 30 days class and got lots of valuable information that I can give to you. But one of the first things is like, hey, I saw that you reached out wanting to know the value of your home. Are you interested in selling? And just by asking that little question, you get a response almost immediately. Yes, I'm not interested, or yes, I am interested in selling, or no, I was just looking at the value of your home. Okay, that's great. Let me ensure that that value is actually accurate. Did you think it was too high or too low? And oftentimes they'll say, it's actually higher than I expected. And that's a great segue in, because I would say probably even 75% of the time when we go in and do our market analysis, especially for like unique properties, their value is even higher than what Fellow's telling them. And then all of a sudden that makes them realize like, maybe I would sell. And then I ask them that, like, if I were to bring you a buyer, because we have one, off market, would you be interested in selling at 775? And we can oftentimes will sometimes get yes. If not, we sometimes then just add them to our KV core, and then we start to see them like looking at homes. Well, those are actions and activities that prompt me to say that they're lying to me. If they're looking at homes and they're doing other activities, it's a way for us to just continue conversation. And it may take me 6 months to a year to convert those people, or it may take me bringing them an off-market offer, to get them to move forward. We're also doing the shake the tree emails in our database. These are simple, like we have one going out today, actually. These are simple little one-liner things that we're sending out to our database that literally create so much engagement. We have a database of over 14,000 people currently, and I'll oftentimes get 75 to 100 responses from these little, they're just like little snarky like things. And I have a QR code here in a minute that you're going to actually get copies of these things. And then Colton, if nobody follows Colton, you need to follow Colton, because his text scripts for engagement of taking old leads and converting them is working for us at a very high level. And I think one thing that all agents we've grown weak in is we're just waiting for that new lead to call us that wants to go and buy a house. And what you don't realize is I would love for y'all to sit down today and think, how many old leads do I have that I haven't touched? And use some of Colton's scripts to start engagement with those leads. So here's the QR code. Here's a few of these scripts that I'm just going to go over, a few that have worked for us. But hi, this is Amber. I'm trying to update my notes. Did you find a home that you were looking for? Are you still in the market for a home? That one gets us a lot. Also, I wanted to check back in with you on your home search. Did you end up finding a home, or is that something that's still in your future? When you ask people questions like this, you get so many responses versus just, hey, just checking in on you. They're going to avoid you. But when you ask them questions that are a little bit more prompting, they're definitely going to engage back in with you. One of our girls a few months ago sent, I think, like around 50 text messages out, and she got like 15 or 20 responses by using these. So QR code at the bottom. If anybody needs me to go back to that, I will. And then just creating a huge community presence online and in person, always be providing value, market updates, new listings, local community info, local businesses. We just started doing YouTube videos on each of our local little communities, and our Elon one's getting ready to come out. I think you will enjoy that one. But it engages people that live here, but it's also made for people that are looking to move back here. And what we're doing is we're doing like the 10-minute video and telling people like, why do we love Elon? What are the restaurants we love to go to? What are the activities we love to do? We love to go to the football games. We love to take our kids over there to ride bikes. What are the up and coming things at Elon that are happening? What are the little local boutiques? So we're going in, we're interviewing the local business owners, which gives them exposure to our world. We're posting it on YouTube, we're posting it on Facebook, but we're also like telling people here, like, go and support these local businesses. A lot of people don't know that things out there exist, and if you can pour in and help a local business owner grow their business, they're going to help you grow your business. And local business owners are usually very influential. They have relationships with a lot of people. A lot of people call on them for things. So if you can help them grow their business, they're going to help you grow your business, but you're also just pouring love into your community and creating more unity in your community, which is always an amazing thing to do. And it's value you can now provide your current and past clients, but also value in a way for you to lead gen for people moving into your area. Because if you're telling them, this is how you live in this area, these are the parks you go to, the businesses you go to, they're going to come to you because you look like the expert in that area. Stay interactive. I think we can get very guilty of just trying to be like a online person. Be a real person too, like show up for events. So we've piggybacked off that, and we started doing what's called the Leo Co Collective and inviting local businesses owners to like network, but like providing them value. We had one yesterday that was literally a 30-person mastermind. We talked all about content creation, social media, what to do on social media. And you would be surprised, like local business owners don't have anywhere to go that are providing them like high value tactical things that they can go and pour into their business. And again, it's just a way we're giving back to local business owners. That's a upstream way of us lead genning. Your community is your business. Support them, pour into them at a high level. We always focus on the 60s of real estate for lead generation: death, divorce, downsizing, default, distance, and relocation. Just have that be consistent, and it creates consistency in your business regardless of what the market looks like. So I look at the obituaries like every single day and just send sympathy cards, flowers to funerals. Divorces come to us. I just did a reel on this the other day. If you can be an agent that works at a high level of integrity and stays very business focused and also is not super gossipy, people are going to come to you in their divorce-like situations. So divorce-like situations is not like something we lead generate for. It's just, I think, our branding and our presence and just who we are as people that allows people to feel comfortable working for us, because we're not going to go out and tell the world like, these people are getting a divorce, da 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 da. People don't want that. People want a person that's professional and poised in those situations. Downsizing, how we get downsizing leads. We do door knock neighborhoods that have older people living in them, that you also have buyers for. We do downsizing seminars. Dividends are people that are investors. We are huge on pouring into our investors. We pour valuable information into them. We find them off-market deals. We're networked with wholesalers. Some of our investors just sell to other of our investors. We go to them every month and give them a market update. This is where we're seeing as an area of opportunity. And then we send them properties on almost a weekly basis. Default, I use a few systems just to find like people that are in pre-foreclosure in the area. We send letters out to them. Hey, we have somebody that could be a cash offer that would be interested in buying your home. And then distance and relocation. We are very well networked with other agents, but also hopefully our YouTube channel is going to help us grow in this area as well. So just to focus on what it is you need to do, like success is not beautiful. It's just repeating and doing the same thing over and over and over. It's quite boring. And it's just making sure you stay purposeful in your mindset, always having clarity, being consistent, and do the hard thing first and do the hard till it's easy. Here's the two tools. I'm sorry, I thought I put my focus on. Here's the two tools that I referenced, the 12-week tracker. So if you were to scan the QR code right here, you're going to get a copy of our 12-week tracker. And then this is the QR code for our daily sprint. And that is it. If anybody has any questions, here's just a QR code for our information. We're here to help. You can always reach out to us. If you couldn't tell, we're very purposeful, passionate beings, and we love to like help and pour into other people at a high level. I missed lots of chats, so let me go back. Anything else? Aw. Yes, go and do that, girlfriend. Anna.
I know. You know what though? It's so funny because it's one of those where, you know, we've got two different sellers and two different
Yeah.
attorneys, and like I keep finding reasons why like I don't want to service the business. And it probably is a $3 million portfolio and it's south of here. It's not that convenient. And I keep like victimizing myself, like, oh, like they're not on the same page or they aren't responding fast enough. And like I'm finding reasons, and like you're right, like it's me. I gotta get in there and I just gotta get the work done. Like that's it. Like there's nothing to justify. Like I just need to go do the work.
Yeah, you got to jump in the cold plunge, you
I
know?
know. I gotta go cold plunge today. A couple
Um,
times you've inspired me.
yeah. One of their girls, came to me when I saw her, I'm like, girl, where's this $3 million? Like, one of the girls came in my office the other day and she was telling me this story and I'm like, that excites me. Like, do you know, like, don't look at the work. What's going to be the result? Like helping somebody in that situation, Anna, is like, you need the help the most when you're going through estate-like situations. I'm hopefully about to finish out my father's estate. We had somebody come to us and say, I want to buy it off market. Like that was so helpful. Because you have so much other stuff that like you're grieving, you're fretting. It's hard. It's a hard time in people's life. And if you can help them in one of the hardest times of their life, like that's valuable. And then what is
Walter
it?
asked, can you throw the QR code up for your daily
Yeah.
sprints one more time?
Yes, absolutely.
And guys, if you're not following Amber on social, go follow her. Like she really does mean like plug in, because she will share all the things, which
all
is
the things.
why we love her so much.
I'm an open book.
She is.
I have no, there you go. I have no, I just know it helps people. And I think one thing wrong with our world is we just put all the good stuff out there. And I've learned like the more I share the hard and the more I share my struggles, you become so much more relatable, but you just help people at such a higher level. And I think at the end of the day, if we really do just like focus on death, which sounds like such a morbid thing, we realize like life is not that hard. Like we make it hard. We create the hurdles.
Yeah, we share that, Amber, because I lost my mom very unexpectedly. And, you know, it's like when you go through something really, really hard like that, it does put into perspective how not hard some things are in our world that we consider to be hard.
I don't know if anybody knows that song, like Graves into Gardens. That song like took on a whole new meaning.
Yep.
After you lose a parent, it's like, it's such a hard thing, but it can also just birth a part of you that wasn't alive yet too.
Correct. Yeah. I thought my confidence was going to go away with losing mom, and it's been alarming to see.
Opposite.
Yep. It's crazy. That was my fear, is that my confidence would be gone. And the opposite.
My dad was always the person that was like up my ass to make me do stuff. So I always had this fear of like when he passed away, because I always wanted to like make him proud. I had this fear of like, I'm not going to have that anymore. But it made me like really like double down and have it more. Like do more of what he would want you to do. Like, don't be fearful. Don't let it hold you back.
I love it. Thank you for kicking off what is our little summer set. For those of you that join us weekly, we have Jessica Dillon, who I think is on the call. Jessica, I saw you earlier. I don't know if she's popped off. Jessica,
I'm here.
Hi, she's joining us. Her counterpart too over at Call Group, Daria, is hopping on with us. Michelle Sayward, who's one of our upline partners in Michigan, is going to hop on with us. And then, you know, obviously we're going into July 4th holiday, and I'll just go ahead and preview, because a lot of you that are on are regulars. We're not going to have a full session on the 3rd, but please watch out, because we are going to announce an Empower conference on that date that will be virtual, so you can join us from wherever. So Allison and Ashley and I have been working on some cool stuff on the back end, and we're going to be excited to share that with you. As always, I'm always here too. If you have anything that you need, let us know. We'll get these recordings up and posted so that you can go back, share them with your team, share them with your business partners, whoever that is. And yeah, if you need anything, let us know. In the meantime, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the hot weather for most of us, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Have a great
Amber.
day. Bye, Anna.
You're the
Good to see you.
best. Bye, friends.